So, welcome everyone. It looks like there is no one actually on the meeting yet, which is fine because this is my first ever Zoom meeting, which I'm hosting right now. So, it's time for me to practice as best I can. Now, there's many reasons that we look for external things to make us happy in life. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the idea of enjoying things and wanting to have fun experiences. But the question is, how long do these experiences of satisfaction, happiness, pleasure, enjoyment last before they are then replaced by a kind of uh, um, let's say, sadness that the feeling is no longer there, or a desire that this feeling should return. So the question is there a way to experience a kind of happiness that doesn't fade? And if so, what is that way? Um, or is any kind of way or technique or attempt to get to a place of stable peace actually worthwhile? Now, these are just questions which I am asking in order to stimulate a response in you to think for yourself, right? This tea is so good. I just had an ice, well, not an ice bath, but a cold bath. So yeah, I was feeling a little bit nervous before the call and was doing the ice bath to settle down a little bit. So yeah, my question was about happiness, peace. Is it possible to have a kind of peace which doesn't fade, right? Hmm. Well, if happiness would be a permanent experience, let's say, then if I think about it in a way logically, then probably that type of happiness that I'm speaking about would have to be a happiness which is not temporary in any way. It would be a type of almost unchanging, stable, yeah, let's say almost permanent um, state or thing, right? So, so that wouldn't be something that you can touch. It may not be even something which you can feel. It would not be a thing or a person or a feeling, even. So, what could that be? Is it possible that this peace beyond understanding has been with us our whole lives, right in front of us, without us being able to recognize it? Is it possible that this sense of peace is with us right now? So there are things which come and go. Actually, everything in our experience comes and goes. In fact, when we fall asleep at night and go into deep sleep, we lose all sense of a personal experience, which means that in a way, each night we cease to exist, at least as a separate person, right? When I'm in deep sleep, I don't even know that I'm here. And yet I don't die because the next day I wake up again. So, what is it which continues during the deep sleep, which has nothing to do with me as a person? And some people would say consciousness, the autonomic nervous system, the brain, the heartbeat, all goes on and on, right? Of course, this question is not necessarily a question which can be answered with the mind. It's not exactly something which can be studied and learned as theoretical knowledge, because actually we can say that it lies outside the realm of personal experience. So, how can we experience something without it being a personal experience? Is there a way? Well, okay, let's have a look at what personal experience is to first identify what this isn't. In personal experience, we divide things. For example, even as children, we learn that some things are good and some things are bad. When we watch a film, we identify the hero and the villain. We can categorize things as being useful, useless, safe, or dangerous, for example. Now, this is very useful in order to survive in the world and has been essential for us as a species to get to where we are now. But going back to my question, what lies beyond that realm of categorization, of division? Is there something which can't be divided? Or let's put it another way, is there something which can include division and can include even concepts, but at the same time is not limited to or itself defined by any concept? And would we as human beings have access to that, whatever that is? Hmm. This wouldn't be something which you can get. It wouldn't be something which you could possess. It wouldn't be something that you can gain, and it wouldn't be something that you can lose. Like I said earlier, it would be something which is never absent. It would be something that is constant, always here, and at the same time cannot be categorized or owned or enclosed or limited in any way. I mean, just to speak from personal experience, um, if I look back and I think about all the things which I have done, maybe still do, in an attempt to bring happiness to myself as a person, and to then somehow believe that something which I bring to me is going to make me happy. And if I consider myself the person inside this body who is living separate from the other objects, people, things, places all around me, then that would make sense. But is that really true? I can see that there are seemingly separate phenomena like this body, the chair I'm sitting on, the sounds of the environment, this computer, the tea, right? But am I really the body? Am I, as a separate person inside the body, aware of the world outside me? Or is there another way of experiencing reality? Is there something which doesn't have any opinions? about what's right or wrong? Is there something which doesn't gather experiences? Something that always remains untainted, something which is always fresh. If there were such a thing, then that thing would simultaneously never be able to become a thing. That thing itself would have to be something which was always new, always innocent, not based on any past, future, something which cannot be conceptualized. And the thing is, whether we would say yes or no, this thing exists, would also have absolutely no effect on that. And once again, I'm using human words here for something that actually is indescribable. It wouldn't matter whether we as a person feel relaxed or feel nervous or feel happy or sad. It wouldn't even be affected by that. Now, what I'm saying is that is not separate from this, which is experiencing right now. That would be incapable of judging or criticizing. but it seems quite challenging to be able to experience something which is not a thing. So, is it possible to ever experience something which is not a thing? And I suppose the only answer to this would be that we simply cannot experience something which is not a thing. The only way would be be that. To be that thing itself. Maybe it's like you know, your phone is your phone, we have phones and we can either have our phone connected to the main power, which is where all the energy comes from anyway, or we can charge the phone. Uh, but the phone cannot function permanently without being charged. Phone is like unable to exist without its main source of power. But like I said before, there's no way to actually understand this um, without it can be understood as a concept, but understanding it as a concept could be seen as just let's say, a preliminary step. Because, as I was saying earlier, if it lies outside the realm of concepts, then a conceptual understanding of it would only be a very limited understanding of it. It's like, let me try and put it this way. Let's see. We feel an experience, right? Let's say we feel something in our body, right? Now we're feeling that, and then we're going to do something to even change and modify that feeling. So we'll do some kind of activity which will make us feel even better, let's say, right? Now, this gets a little bit challenging now, but if we're feeling the feelings from the very beginning of this activity, there was the feeling A, which was just kind of okay. And there was the feeling B, which was the really good feeling, right? But if a feeling can be felt, so there was the feeling A, mediocre feeling, and the feeling B, the really good feeling. If the feeling can be felt, then are we who are feeling that affected by the feeling? Seems like a paradoxical question. It always feels like we're looking from outside the body or from inside the body at something outside. Or we are being affected by a feeling. But are we actually being affected by something? Or are we that? Anyway, it's something to think about. So thank you very much. And this is my first ever non-duality call. It's been a first experience for me, so I hope it was interesting. I'm thinking of uploading it on the internet. Yeah, so I hope it was helpful. And if there are any questions about it, don't hesitate to email me or write a comment. Um, yeah, okay.